Join me as I review some of the most legendary games on the Nintendo Switch, mostly indie and on the lower middle end of the price scale, proving that a legendary gaming experience can be done on a budget. My name's Kanan and welcome back to the home of cheap gaming. Story. Set in a distant land where monsters roam in a fantasy world, Children of Morta sets up a truly epic adventure. Now, I base story on whether it's understandable whilst playing it, and the best way to describe Children of Morta is a roller coaster of emotions. The story is as much part of this game as the graphics and sound, and definitely part of the gameplay. This really does follow through on its promises on dealing with real life issues. Love, hate, death, loss and anger all help sweep you up in an epic story that is better experience rather than me telling you about. And I'd also not like to spoil the story as it's that good. Gameplay. So after entering the game, you're greeted by a cutscene that sets everything up. Voice amazingly, which in time will act to soothe you and sometimes instill fear into you, as the narration is...
When you think of family, what comes to mind first?
Not held just for those cutscenes. It also drives the game on and explains places you discover and creatures in real time as you play through the game. With 7 playable characters, most of them unlocked whilst playing the game, interwoven within the actual story, and each character with their own set of skills unlockable with XP as you progress through the dungeons, set in different areas, and accessing these through wormholes in the house basement. The house being like a hub that you can upgrade the family's abilities, such as their agility, their damage and their armour. And then there's the Book of Rhea, which you can use to increase your money drop or north and runic knowledge. And even further on than that, in the dungeons there are health drops, coin drops, morve coin drops, rage vials dropped from fallen creatures, as well as obelisks that give enhancements like extra XP, faster movement and more money. But wait, there's even more. XP gains you levels and upgrades that add different abilities, some passive, some not so passive, and even some that help the entire family, not just the main character that you're playing. And yes, that is a hell of a lot of game. And now let's talk about graphics. And if you haven't had a chance to glance at them, well, go and glance at them now. They're really, really nice. Yes, they're pixelated, but I don't know how they've done it. They've managed to get such feeling and such grace out of those little pixelated characters and creatures and wolf. I mean, the wolf is just so cute. If I probably had one complaint, there probably just isn't enough variety, even though when you go to different areas, there are different monsters, but they seem to be almost reskins of those monsters, which I can accept because there's just a lot here to take in. And the sound is incredible as well. I mean, just taking the characters themselves, all with different little nuances and everything, you know, they could have just gone for like basic sounds, this, that, but no, they've given each character their own feel, their own sounds basically. And then let's just talk about the voiceover. Possibly one of the best voiceovers I've ever heard. And trust me, there are only a certain amount of games, a small handful of games that actually do this correctly. Take note, everybody else, this is how you do a voiceover.
These moments when you gave it all for one another, but also times when you felt alone, vulnerable, and wounded.
Interwoven through the entire story, in the actual game, out of the actual game, everywhere. It's just incredible. So let's talk discounts before I go to my final verdict and final thoughts. as most of these games have probably been out for quite a bit now, I thought I'd take a look at whether they come down on discount quite a bit, just to save you a little bit more money. And the last time this was on offer was in August, and I think it went for about £11.99 or £11.29. That's when I bought it. But I would say this is worth full price any day. But if you do want it at a discount, yeah, maybe it's worth waiting for. But you might be waiting until like Christmas or something. So, if you like this, go get it now. So, final verdict is, well, I'm not going to give a final verdict because these are epic games. These are legendary games. These, you should be having these in your actual collection already. So, there you go. Final thoughts. With a game that has so much to it, so much heart, so much gameplay, I have to admit that I played this mainly in co-op with my wife, and we're still playing it. It's that good. Not once have we thought, let's just leave it tonight. In fact, my wife is not a great gamer. She has a Switch Lite and she plays Animal Crossing on it. But she's like, yeah, let's play that game. I love that game. So, do you agree with me? Have you got it? Do you think it's an epic, great, legendary game? If so, or if not, drop a comment down below. Hey, even hit that like and subscribe button. And I'll be seeing you next time.